There are places in Switzerland that most people drive straight past on the way to somewhere else. Romainmôtier is one of those places, and once you know what's tucked inside that small Jura valley in the canton of Vaud, you won't rush past it again. The village sits hidden in the idyllic Nozon Valley. Tucked away from main traffic routes, nestled between two forested hillsides. It's small, very small, a handful of streets, stone buildings, and a quiet that feels almost deliberate. But walk into the centre, and you're standing in front of something genuinely significant. A monastery that has been an important place of worship for over 1,500 years. The first monastery at Romainmôtier was built in approximately 450 AD by a monk named Romanus of Condat, and it's from him that the place takes its name. Romanus was a hermit who had withdrawn into the Jura region to live simply and quietly. Others followed, and a small monastic community grew around him. By legend, this makes Romainmôtier the oldest monastery founded on Swiss soil. The early centuries were complicated. Only a monk named Bobbio, writing between 600 and 659, mentions the monastery in his account of the Irish monk Columban. Sources are sparse, but the site mattered enough that in 753, Pope Stephen II stopped here on his way to meet the Frankish king Pepin and placed the monastery under Rome's direct authority and protection. That's a significant endorsement for a remote valley in what is now western Switzerland. The monastery's next major turning point came in the 10th century. On 14 June 928, the monastery and its lands were given to Cluny Abbey, the great reform centre based in Burgundy. Under Cluny, Romainmôtier entered what historians describe as its third golden age. Abbot Odilo of Cluny, who lived here on multiple occasions, had the present church built at the end of the 10th century, modelled after the second church of Cluny Abbey. The exterior of that stone church looks today much as it did when its existing walls were erected in the 11th century. Inside, colourful wall paintings date from the 13th century, and the pulpit is crafted from the lid of a 7th century tomb. Gothic columns and frescoes from the 14th century and choir stalls from the 15th century are also worth a careful look, as are the remains of the former cloister on the south side of the church. In the 10th and 11th centuries, the priory was in regular conflict with aristocratic families of the region, who were trying to expand their estates at the priory's expense. These conflicts eventually ended in the early 12th century. By this point, the monastery controlled 12 surrounding villages and held rights and holdings across dozens of locations. After a financial crisis in the 14th century, the monastery recovered and reached the height of its power at the end of the 14th and into the early 15th century. Then, in the mid-15th century, it passed into secular hands, its income becoming a source of personal enrichment and monastic rules increasingly ignored. By the time the Reformation reached Vaud in 1536, the monastery was already in decline. In that same year, the canton of Bern conquered Vaud, and these territories came under Bernese rule. The prior's house became the seat of the Bernese bailiff. The cloister was gradually dismantled. The monastery was secularized, and after 2 centuries of holding city status, Romainmôtier slowly declined from its former importance. If you walk around the village today and look carefully at the buildings, you'll notice something. On one of the old facades, the Bernese bear is still painted there, the red and black emblem of Bern, with the black bear on its diagonal stripe. That heraldic bear has been Bern's symbol since at least 1224, first appearing on city seals, and it has remained in use ever since. Seeing it painted on a building in a small Vaud village is a quiet reminder that this place was governed from Bern for over 2.5 centuries. It's easy to walk past, worth stopping for, The renovated collegiate church is now an oasis of calm, surrounded by greenery. A 30-minute English-language film explains the monastery's history in detail. There's a small tea shop on site, and an ecumenical prayer service is held daily at noon. Despite the passing of time and the serious upheavals Romainmôtier has suffered across the centuries, the place has retained its spiritual character. That's not nothing, after 1,600 years. If you're exploring the Jura Vaudois, or passing through on a motorcycle or by car, it takes about an hour to walk the village, step inside the church, and sit for a few minutes in a place that has been standing since the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Bring a camera. Walk slowly. It doesn't ask for more than that.